Guys, so we're on to day 2, and so what we're going to get started on is looking at our nose, mouth, and finishing out the rest of the face just in our contour outline. Alright, so for our nose, we don't really want any of those harsh lines, but what we can do is come in and just make a few marks on our grid where we do start to see those transitions of shade that we will very lightly mark on our paper. And this will just help us get the overall shape of our nose. We'll be able to then later look at our version that isn't gridded to see how this all lines up. Alright, so just those few marks on my nose is what I'm going to copy over here onto my paper. So here, I'm looking right here at this shadow that's in my eye. And I'm going to notice that it creates that kind of shape and comes right down here. There's just this little triangle right there that's going to come down and hit here before coming down and hitting maybe about here, a little over halfway. It's fairly close to the glasses before coming down around here and coming back in towards this part here. So it's kind of gonna swoop right over here, and now we can come back in and right through this part of our nose. This is going to come around. And there's a little shape right here that's made in this corner that I'm going to watch. And then this swoops down to right around here. Before coming through here, coming back up a little bit, and back down. And then there's just that little bit of overlap. And now I'm looking at this shape here, which comes just about halfway. Before coming back up right around here. And now I have most of my nose drawn in. There is a little bit of a shadow right in here that I'm going to come in and mark. And then I do see a little bit of a shadow right through here that I can go ahead and mark. So it starts right around here. And it comes down through here. So now I've got most of my markings in for my nose, so I can come and do these two on the side for my cheek. So this one comes right out of this loop and comes through here. Just like that. over on this side. It pretty much starts right in that same crease, comes down right through this corner, and then right through here. So that gives me this line here that I'm going to go in and shade later. So again, all of my nose is kept very, very light because most of it is going to be erased. So now that I've done that, I can come down and look at my mouth. And I have fairly thin, very pale lips. So I'm going to come in and outline them so I know where I'm looking to draw. And then when I go back into shade later, I will have to be aware of the fact that I have done this. And I might even go and look at my other copy to make sure that I have this marking in the right spot. Alright, so now that I've got that on here, I'm going to come down right around here. And this comes down to a little bit past halfway. And now this mark. You can see I'm going to do that thing where I come in with my half grit again. Because I am probably, yep, a little bit off. Using this little micro grid, mini grid, whatever you want to call it, can be really helpful. For exactly this reason. Now I'm looking at this shape right here. And I'm just going to keep carrying it. Right across. So again, keeping this nice and light. And now this is probably just a little bit below halfway here. So I'm going to come in right around here and make that little dot. I swoop down just a little bit before coming back up. And then this line pretty much comes straight across. And continues over to here. All right, so what's difficult about this is it's gonna look a little bit off until we get that shading in there. So just remember that this is just an outline. With our like symbolism as strong as it is, including mine, I'm looking at this mouth and going, gosh, that does not look like a mouth right now. But that's because I don't have all of the shading and those directional marks of my lips in there yet. So I just need to be patient and just move on and stop working with it because I know those lines are where they're supposed to be. So now I'm going to come in and draw the shadow line, which comes down to right around here. I'm going to bring it over. And then this guy swoops up pretty quickly. And I can see this shape here that becomes made. So that's what I'm looking at there. And then this comes up to meet with this guy. So now I've got my shadow line in there and I've got all my mouth where it needs to be. So now I can start to look at the outline of my face. So that's starting right over here, coming down the side here, and then it comes down into my chin, which is gonna loop around. And then it'll come back up. All right, so I'm gonna start over here by my glasses. And right around here is where that starts, and it comes a little bit over. Now in my next mark, it comes pretty much halfway. And then it comes to about right here. And in my next one, which is 11, it just has this little tiny mark through here. My next one makes a little triangle through here. So I'm gonna look at this negative space here with the triangle. Oh, you guys get to hear another train. And then it's going to swoop in pretty quickly to come in right through here. And then around halfway, it's going to swoop out. Kind of like that. Actually, maybe a little bit more dramatic than that. There we go. This could be another opportunity to draw one of my... Oh, looking at the wrong one. Drawing that micro grid to kind of get a better idea. We're looking at I. Bring that down. This swoops right through here, makes a little triangle there. And that shape there is the one that's off. There we go. So by assessing this shape here now, I know that this looks more correct. And I can erase out that micro grid if I want to. I'll erase my one up here too. can come down and look at this shape here. And now this is a little bit below halfway here, but it's still a fairly consistent curve. So I'll connect that. Now it starts to come back up, but it's still a consistent curve. And now we start to get some of that swooping in, so I'm going to look at this shape here. I'm just going to come up through here. Before it starts to come back down a little bit, and then coming back up to our point right around here. Now we can come through here. And again, I'm just continually looking at my negative space and this positive space to see all these little triangles. So I know through my 12, it comes down someone like that. Now through 11, I'll come through there and just cross over a little bit into that grid. Come up into that shape. Again, just keep finding the shapes here, and now it comes back all the way up. So now I've got the rest of my face shape in there that I'm pretty happy with. And that only took me about 20 minutes to get done. So what I could do is, if I'm to this part, is to start mapping out the rest of my hair. So I've got this line over here that I'm looking at that starts in 13, right in the corner. It comes down into 14. Swoops through 15, into 16, makes a pretty good swing over to 17, all the way down to 18. So with my hair, I'm a little less perfect about where it goes because I'm just looking to get that overall shape. So I have another line here that I'm looking at. So I'm going to come up to my 7, and this mark here pretty much gets continued down through 8 and through 9, down to the corner of 10, through 11, about halfway into 12, down into 13, and then just a little bit into 14. At this point, I'm also going to take my extra piece of paper, flip it over, and that way I'm not going to be smudging everything that I just drew over here. Alright, so my next mark starts right up in here, around 9. I'm going to go with right in here. And And that's where we get some of that really dark back in here in the shadow that my hair is creating behind my face. And I'm just going to follow that line right through here. So if you are listening to this, I highly encourage you to play some tunes in the background that is not loud enough that you can't hear me, but, it's quiet enough that you can hear me, but loud enough that you're not just sitting in silence. I always get, I don't know, I never like listening to kind of just like the random music that people put in their YouTube stuff when they're doing tutorials. I'd rather just have my own to be able to play and then just listen. Alright, so we're coming from F, down through F. We're starting around 15 in here. So I saw my hair mapped out over there. I'm going to come in and look at this shadow line right in here that's coming down my neck. So it starts at 13. That's box 13. Pretty much right down here. Makes a little shape in here that I can look at. A little triangle in there. Alright, so I've got that mark in. Now I can come over here and look through here. So, up at this point on my chin here, kind of swoops down. Right around there. And then on line 14 and 15, we've got a little triangle through here. This guy right there. That'll kind of end. And then I have hair that comes in through here. We'll sweep over and down. I can go ahead and follow this hair back up. Disappears right behind there. I can come in and look at this shape through here. So I'll know that that's my shirt peeking through there. I can come down and look at this line through here. So let's see, this is an eye. Go down here. You just got this little corner. Another triangle through here. Alright, so now I'm going to look at this shape in 16. Alright, so now for the most part, I've got this all figured out here. I might come through here and just do a little mark down here that shows that that's mostly hair that comes through that part. And now I can come back over here and continue the shape. Alright, and now for the most part, I've got all of my lines in for my hair. And now I've pretty much got my whole contour line mapped in. So what I want to do now is come in and just look at this few places that my shirt peeks through. And draw some of these directional lines in. Now if you guys have a pattern on your shirt, it's kind of going to be up to you if you want to draw on that pattern or not. Or just kind of do like the shadow and highlight of it. So I have this line that comes through here. look at. I might even come in and draw some of this little wispy hair down here. It just kind of curls in. Alright, so my contour outline is done. Turn on the side here, you can see the whole thing. Now let's see, all of that took me 31 minutes, so that even gives you some extra time during class today to kind of keep working on whatever else you are. And you can have a little bit of time to catch up if you've got more complicated eyes. If your ears are showing, you're going to go in and do your ears. And tomorrow we can pick up on shading.